Okay, we'll start. Om Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhar Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurus Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay, so in the previous sessions we were looking at Vishnu Purana. So today we have seen the first 4 parts of Vishnu Purana and we had just started with the 5th part. So we will continue looking at that. Now the 5th part of the Matsya Purana, of the Vishnu Purana, if you remember very clearly, we were talking about the Kuru or the Puru Swamsha, Puru. And at that time, the first story, we will go through that first. So, Puru Vamsha, chapter 5 or part 5 Vishnu Purana talks about Puru's Vamsha. Puru Raja, his Vamsha, P-U-R-U, Puru. So, it talks about his Vamsha. And in his Vamsha, we have the famous king Dushyanta. The famous Sanskrit drama that we have, Abhignana Shakuntalam, written by Kalidasa, or the famous story of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. So, Dushyanta comes in this Puru Vamsha. So, we'll just look at the story of Dushyanta and Shakuntala once because it is very very popular and we get reference to that also in the Mahabharata and in many other Puranas, other references too. But even in the Vishnu Purana, we have a mention of the story of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. Now, it is said that Dushyanta had fallen in love with this Shakuntala, who was the daughter of sage Vishwamitra and Menaka, and the Apsara Menaka. So they had got married in the forest secretly, and Dushyanta had given a ring to Shakuntala as a memento. So just in his remembrance, he had given this ring. But it so happened that and there was a condition to this, is that if the ring ever fell from the hand of Shakuntala, from that time onwards, Dushyanta will forget everything about Shakuntala. So it so happened that once while Shakuntala was crossing a river, the ring slips from her finger and it falls down. And this results in King Dushyanta forgetting Shakuntala completely. So now he forgot the love story between them, he forgot the marriage that happened between them and so on. And further, and during this time when all this incident was happening, Shakuntala was pregnant with both of their children, who was Bharata. So now Bharata, this son Bharata, and though Dushyanta, then the later part of the story comes in when Shakuntala, she goes to Dushyanta's kingdom and finally he identifies her and later they stay happily. So all this mention is not there in the Vishnu Purana. Till here it stops after the birth of Bharata. Who was this Bharata? Bharata or Bharata also we call it, but the most common reference is Bharata. Now this Bharata, he was a son, S-O-N son of Dushyanta and Shakuntala, and right from a young age he was very very strong. So like he used to play with lions and so on. So Shakuntala had given birth to Bharata in her father's hermitage, that is in the hermitage in the ashrama of Vishwamitra. So therefore now usually we all know ashramas are there in the forest areas. So Bharata used to spend a lot of time playing with animals in the forest like lions and so on. So right from a young age he has been very 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 brave, you can say. And he had also met his father once. Dushyanta, when he had come hunting in the forest, it is said that he saw this boy Bharata. He did not know that it was his son, but he saw this boy Bharata, who was playing with the lion, and it seems that he was counting the teeth of the lion. How much teeth does a lion have? And that's when he finally reaches the hermitage of Vishwamitra, saying that where does this brave boy live? And that's when Bharata brings him to the hermitage of ashrama. And finally Dushyanta sees Shakuntala also. He remembers everything, and that's how all three of them meet. Now you also have one reference of a fisherman coming into picture. Now as per the original reason, we know that if the ring had fallen somewhere, Dushyanta tends to forget Shakuntala. So during this time, a fisherman, it is said that when the ring had slipped from the finger of Shakuntala, a fish had eaten that ring, and the fisherman, when he had cut the fish, he found the ring inside the stomach, and then he comes and he hands it over to the king. And in some extent, now in those times people were very very honest. So whenever the fisherman could have very easily kept the ring, but he did not do that. He came and he handed over the ring to Dushyanta. As soon as he saw the ring, Dushyanta remembered Shakuntala and all the incidents that had happened in the past. He reached the hermitage of Vishwamitra, and that's how all the three people, they were united again. So this was the famous story of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. Further, we have the lineage of Bharata that has been told. He had about 3 queens and 9 children. And further, he got Bharadwaja. He got a son as Bharadwaja, not the sage Bharadwaja. This is another Bharadwaja. And then his lineage also kept on continuing. And finally, till where did it continue? There were many people who has been mentioned. Till it is said that once there was a person called Satyagriti. Now there are many kings in between, but in between you have one king called Satyagriti. This Satyagriti, once it said that he fell in love with Urvashi, with the Apsara Urvashi, and just by looking at her, it is said that his his generative fluid fell on the ground on a reed, R-E-E-D. Reed is nothing but a plant, and that's how the plant was divided into 2 parts. And the two parts was born Kripa and Kripi. Kripacharya, the teacher of the Pandavas later, and finally King Shantanu. Now, last time, if you remember, I had told you in the last session that we have 2 references to Shantanu. The Shantanu that was mentioned in the earlier part 4, and the Shantanu that we have in the Mahabharata. In some references, they are said to be 2 different characters. But as far as the story goes, if you see the bottom line, both these Shantanus seem to be the same only. So for now, we can consider that it is the same Shantanu as per the Mahabharata reference. Now, as we had seen, Puranic stories, sometimes they have such controversies that are there, but we can consider the same Shantanu because we have got the reference in the same Puru Vamsha only, in the Kauravas line only. So it has to be, Shantanu was the ancestor of the Kauravas, Pandavas. So we can consider it is the same Shantanu. Further, we see this. So this was how Kripacharya and Kripi, a girl, was born. Kripacharya was born. Now this Kripi, she was married to Dronacharya. Kripacharya, Dronacharya, these were different acharyas of the Kuru Vamsha. And Dronacharya, who was a teacher of the Kauravas and Pandavas, he married this girl, Kripi. And next, Ashwathama was born to them, who was one of the 7 Chiranjeevis who said to be living still till date. And further, one last king who was born here was Kuru, K-U-R-U. That's how the entire place came to be known as Kurukshetra. Even if today you go to Haryana, you can find this Kurukshetra. Next is the description of Kuru Vamsha. Chapter 2, part 5 starts with the description of Kuru Vamsha. In Kuru Vamsha, there was, in the line of Kuru, you had 3 kings were there. From here, actually, Shantanu's reference starts. Devapi, there was a king called Pratipa. In the Kuru Vamsha, there was a king called Pratipa, and 3 sons were born to him: Devapi, Shantanu, and Vahalika. V-A-A-H-L-I-K, Vahalika. Now, out of that, Shantanu became very, very famous, and then Shantanu, he had proceeded. So we know the famous story wherein Shantanu proceeded to the forest, and that's when he fell in love with Satyavati. So initially Shantanu had got married to Ganga, and from whom Bhishmacharya, that is Devavrata. Bhishmacharya was originally called Devavrata. He was born there. And from his second wife Satyavati, Shantanu had 2 sons, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada was killed by a Gandharva, whereas the younger Vichitravirya, he was born to the princesses Ambika and Ambalika. Now, it is said that now this Vichitravirya also, he was so indulged in worldly life and so on, that he also incurred a disease in the course of time. That is, it is said now here, so much detail has been mentioned. It is said that he incurred tuberculosis, TB, and that's how even Vichitravirya also died. So Ambika and Ambalika, therefore because of this, he died. Immediately after marriage, he died. So though he was engrossed into the material world fully, material life fully, he could not bear children at all. So Ambika and Ambalika, again, they could not bear a child from Vichitravirya. So thus, Vedavyasa, since Ambika, now no children are there, but then the line should go ahead. So then here Satyavati, she advises Ambika and Ambalika that you go before Vedavyasa, you try to distract him and so on, and that's how you try to beget children so that your Vamsha can move about ahead. Then through Ambika, Vedavyasa and Ambika, they begot a child, that is Dhritarashtra. Further, Ambalika, she begot a son, Pandu. Now it is said that when Ambalika, now Vedavyasa was a great sage. So then Ambalika was like, now if you have an elderly person, or maybe a person who's 20 or 30 years elder to us, we cannot fall in love with such a person, right? Or you cannot maybe try to distract that person, or we cannot have emotions or feelings to someone who's so elder to us, like maybe like a fatherly figure or a grandfather almost. So then Ambalika, though as advised by her by Satyavati, she went in, she tried to distract Vedavyasa, but it is said that during that time she grew pale. That is, she, like when we fear a lot, we automatically get fever, right? So similarly, she also did the same thing. That's when she started suffering from jaundice. They begot a son, that was Pandu. So Pandu also, right from the time he was born, he was suffering from this illness of jaundice, and that's how it led to his death soon. We know the father of the Pandavas, who is Pandu. So this was the reason why Pandu was unwell right from the time of his birth. Now, once a son was born, now both the princes, Ambika and Ambalika, both were blessed with one son each. But again now Satyavati said, no, one son is not enough. Again you go before Vedavyasa, you try to distract him. So now Vedavyasa was the only person who was available there, because they had lost both their husbands, their husband Vichitravirya. Now this time, but the queens, they felt awkward. They said, no, again and again we cannot do this. So they sent a maid servant here, a dasi, Vinita. Her name was Vinita, and that's how Vidura was born. But now Vinita, she was a dasi, so she was a servant. So for her, there was no, like, she did not feel anything. It's a sage, or who is this? She was not much learned, so she did not feel anything. It was, for her, it was just a man who was in front of her. She had to just beget a son through him. So therefore she went normally like a lady, and that's how they got a very intelligent son was born to them. That is Vidura. We have the famous Vidura Niti as a part of the Mahabharata. So Ambika here, I think I forgot to mention, Ambika went in front of which Vedavyasa by closing her eyes, because she felt awkward in front of the sage. How should I go? That's why Dhritarashtra was born blind. Ambalika became pale when she went in front of Vedavyasa. That's the reason why Pandu was born pale, and he suffered from the disease called jaundice. Whereas Vinita, the maid servant, she went normally. She did not have any awkwardness. She went normally, and that's how a normal, or in fact a very intelligent and wise boy was born. That is Vidura. Now from here we know the famous story of Mahabharata starts. Dhritarashtra, he got married to Gandhari, the princess of Kandahar. This Kandahar is a place in Afghanistan today. And whereas Pandu, he married two wives, Kunti and Madri. Dhritarashtra had 100 sons and a daughter, Dushala. Now we know the story of the Kauravas. It is there in one reference. And Duryodhana was the eldest of the sons. Second is Dushasana. You have the other 100 boys, and 101st is a girl called Dushala. Now for this story, we have that both Gandhari and Kunti were pregnant at the same time. But it is said that now 9 months, 10 months, though we say 9 months roughly, it's not that all the children exactly, 9 months are completed today, exactly today the child will be born. There is no guarantee. It can become a few days up and down. So it is said that Yudhishthira was born before Duryodhana. So both the princesses, that is Gandhari, both the queens, Gandhari and Kunti, though they conceived at the same time, Yudhishthira was born first. So Gandhari right from the time of birth, or before Duryodhana was born, she had all these thoughts in her mind. Oh, now Yudhishthira is born first, he is elder, he will get the kingdom. So such thoughts came to her mind, and in that suffering or in that sorrow, she hit her stomach loudly. And it is said that the fetus had not developed. Though 9 months were done, only she had not gone into labor. Only when the right time comes, a child has to be born. And it is said that the fetus, it fell down from her stomach, and this fetus, it had not developed properly. It was just a ball of flesh. So now again she wailed, saying that, oh, I did not realize in my sorrow, I hit my stomach loudly, and that's how the child is not born. This fetus has come out. What should I do now? She rushes to Vedavyasa. And Vedavyasa, she tells her, please do something. Your grandson has to be born. Grandson. Now you know the reference. Ambika, and from her you have the son Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and so on. So Vedavyasa was actually their grandfather. So then now you do something. So Vedavyasa, what he does is, this same ball of flesh, he cuts it into 100 equal parts. And today we have now, all this is not magic. Today we have something called IVF, right? In vitro fertilization, or test tube babies, something like this. That is being followed today. It is the same thing which Vedavyasa did in those times. So he chanted a few mantras from the Vishnu Sahasranama, Vidhatre Namaha. He chanted this mantra, and it is said that so in the coconut shells, like how we have test tubes today, in those times we didn't have test tubes, we had coconut shells. So in that he put life to all these 100 pieces or 100 balls of flesh. All of them emerged into small babies, all of them developed, and that's how 100 Kauravas are born. So it's not that Gandhari she conceived 100 times and all no woman can conceive 100 times. So this was how the 100 Kauravas were born. Okay, so now all this is not mentioned in the Vishnu Sahasranama. This is in the Vishnu Purana. I just give you an extra reference. So this is how 100 Kauravas were born and the 5 Pandavas were born. Now further, 5 Pandavas we know were born by the grace of the gods Dharmaputra, Yudhishthira, Vayu Bhagavan, Bhima, Indra was from Indra, Nakula Sahadeva were from the Ashwini Kumaras. Now why all this was done is that Nakula and Sahadeva, they were Kunti, Pandu had been given a curse that if ever he tried to get physical with any of his wives, immediately at that minute he would die. So therefore he could not beget sons biologically. Therefore Kunti earlier she had got a boon from Durvasa. We know the story of Karna. So wherein if you pray to that particular god will come and bless you with a child. So that's how the Pancha Pandavas were born. 2 sons were born to Madri. So Kunti there prayed that I am the first wife, 3 sons let it be born to me, but 2 sons let the boon be also transferred to my co-sister, that is Madri, and that's how from the 2 Ashwini Kumaras, blessings, divine physicians, from them to Nakula and Sahadeva, they were born of Madri. So though Pandavas are from their father Pandu, only the name is there. Biologically, they are not born from Pandu. Now, this was our 5 Pandavas we know. Now, in short, the Mahabharata story has been mentioned. 5 Pandavas have been married to Draupadi. All their lineage has been mentioned. From each of the Pandavas, Draupadi has got a son. All their sons have been mentioned in detail. Then, from here, it is said that Parikshit, Abhimanyu's son of Arjuna. Arjuna had 3 wives, 3 sons. Iravan, Vabruvahan and Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu was the most famous son from Subhadra. Subhadra is Krishna's sister. And all the sons of Pandavas, they fought in the war and most of them died. Abhimanyu also died. Abhimanyu's son Parikshit, he was the one who was contributed for the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he continued the lineage of the Pandavas. He was the one who lived till or it is said that till the lineage of Parikshit, information we know, or he was the one who was the person who was responsible for taking the lineage of the Pandavas ahead. Okay, now further next, with this the Mahabharata story ends in chapter 2 part 5 Vishnu Purana. Next is chapter 3, starts with Krishna Leela stories. Vasudeva was born to Devaki, Krishna was born. Then at that time what happens is that all the story has been told in short. Now why Krishna was born, for this there is a story saying that, now there are different references why Krishna Avatara took place, but main reason was Bhuma Devi, that is Prithvi, she prayed to Lord Vishnu saying that, so there is so much burden on me, so much of adharma everywhere, I cannot suffer all this anymore, please ensure that to take an avatara. Rama Avatara is done, Ravana, Kumbhakarna are dead, but still we have so many other asuras who are there, so many other problems that the people are facing. So, and in the Treta Yuga people are still good, but then in the Dwapara Yuga it is still dangerous. People have imbibed a lot of negative qualities. So you only must come and save. So again you have to take an incarnation. So that's how Krishna Avatara takes place. Further now, Kamsa, after the 8th child was born, we know the story. First 6 children are born. 7th child is Balarama, who was born to Devaki, transferred. Again it is the womb transfer that we do today. It was done as per medical science, it was done to Rohini. That's when Yogamaya emerged. Now Yogamaya is the Shakti or the goddess who was responsible for doing this transfer. So when Kamsa came and tried to kill the 7th child of Devaki, at that time Yogamaya, the goddess, comes in front and says that your child has already been born. 7th child is secure, 8th child is going to be born, who is responsible for your killing. 8th child Krishna is born. We know Vasudeva takes him to Gokula, and that's where Nanda Gopa and Yashoda nurtured the child. Further, now chapter 4 talks about the appearance of the Lord in Devaki's womb. So all this has been mentioned here in detail. Further, we see that as per the Vishnu Purana, once he reaches Gokula, what happens is that Shakatasura, Putana first she comes, Putana Mokshaha, the demoness comes to give milk. Then next is Shakatasura, the Asura comes in the form of a cart. Then Trinavarta in the form of a whirlwind. Vritrasura comes. Now before Vritrasura, Trinavarta. After Trinavarta, what happens is that naming ceremony. That is Namakarma, Jatakarma of Krishna is done. That's when Gargacharya comes. He names both the children as Balarama and Krishna. And at this time, Gargacharya had a confusion. What should I name this boy? In the Narayaniam reference, anyone remembers? No. Which Dashakam, which verse do you remember? Wherein we have the reference of Namakarma of Krishna. Is there anyone who is learning Narayaniam? Ah, yes. No?
34?
No, 34 Ramavatara. Dashakam 45. 45. Dashakam 45. No, Dashakam 40 we cannot say.
44 or 45?
No.
44?
44. 44. Yeah, 44 is the reference wherein we have 44. So wherein what happens is that Lord Krishna's Namakarana is done. 44. Gudam Vasudeva Gira. So in that verse number 4, we have the reference wherein Gargacharya says that this boy has got 1,000 names. You have the Vishnu Sahasranama, 1,000 names, and each name is unique. What should I give this name? And ultimately he comes to a conclusion that is Krishna, and thus both the children are named. Next is the childhood leelas of Krishna. He passes about time grazing cows every day, going in the morning, coming back in the evening. So he spends his time very happily. All the gopis, gopas, gopalas, everyone is very happy. He keeps on teasing the girls' maid. He tries to steal their clothes and so on. So it is a very enjoyable life to all the people of Gokula. Finally, we have the Damodar Avatara, wherein people come and complain to Yashoda saying that your child is too mischievous. She ties it to the mortar, and that's when the two trees, Nalakubera, Manikriva, they are given moksha. That is also mentioned here. Further we see, now they see that Gokula has got a lot of dangers that is there. So this place is not at all safe to live. Let us all shift to Vrindavana, which is a beautiful forest. It might be a calm place, but there also it was not free from asuras. Immediately Vatsasura, Kamsa gets this news that Krishna's entire family has shifted to Vrindavana. Next he sends Vatsasura, an asura in the form of a calf. Next Bakasura, an asura in the form of a crane. All this is killed. Further Aghasura comes. Aghaha is nothing but a snake. So there she comes. And now this Aghasura was a brother of Putana and also the brother of Bakasura. This Aghasura comes. He also is killed by by Krishna. Then we have the incident of Brahma. Brahma playfully he feels that let me steal the cow and the cow herds of Krishna and let me see how Krishna reacts on that. Krishna teaches a very important lesson to Brahma saying that if you teach me something, I will show you my Leela also. So it is said that Brahma steals all the cow herds, all the cows and keeps them in a cave. But then what happens is that, and then he goes back to his realm Brahmaloka. In Brahmaloka, he can see all the cows and cow herds there. He's confused. He thinks I kept them all in the cave. How come they came to Brahmaloka? Again he comes back on earth. Again he finds them in the cave. Like this he keeps going up and down. Even in the Brahmaloka he sees all the kids and the cow herds. Even on earth also he sees. He realizes his mistake. Oh, because of my pride, Krishna has tried to teach me a lesson. Let me return all of them back. So that's when Brahma's pride is also gone. Next is Dhenukasura, the one who comes in the form of a cow, or you can say even a donkey. That is also you can consider, that is Dhenukasura Vadaha. Further, Kaliyanaga, Kaliyanartana, we have the famous. Now there's also a Kirtana, I suppose. Kaliyanartana, Vrishadhara. Some people chant, those who know Carnatic music. So that is the famous Kaliyanartana Avatara, Kali Avatara on the banks of the Yamuna. So that is done. Next is the forest fire comes in. All the people, they could not go back to Vrindavana because of the forest fire. Krishna at that time comes and he drinks. It is said he drinks the entire forest fire and saves the people of everyone. Next is Pralambasura comes in. Now who is this Pralamba? Pralambasura. Now when Krishna and Balarama in those times as children, even now as we play in teams, they used to make two teams and they used to play with each other. So it is said that this dead Pralambasura is, you can say, a yak kind of an animal. So it is said that he offered Balarama a chance to sit on his back. Balarama immediately realized and he took Balarama away. Now why Pralambasura wanted to attack Balarama? For this we get a reference in the Krishna Leela stories, not directly in the Vishnu Purana. It is said that always, because Pralambasura knew that all the demons previously have been killed by Krishna. So he was a bit afraid. He said, let me not directly go and approach Krishna. Let me try with this Balarama. So maybe if I kill the elder brother of Balarama, even Krishna also might be surrendered to me. So he had this thought process in mind, but he did not know that Balarama was same like Krishna. So he was also an incarnation of Sheshanaga. In fact, he was the one on whom Lord Krishna sleeps, Lord Vishnu sleeps. He did not realize that. Immediately he was killed by Balarama. So Pralambasura was killed by Balarama. Further, the Gopika Vastraharanam, he steals the clothes of all the girls. Next is the Govardhana Giridhari, incarnation of the Lord, that is done. He lifts the Govardhana mountain on his little finger. Then the Govardhana Puja is done, which we celebrate on the 4th day of Deepavali. The pride of Indra also goes away. Indra, he showers rain. 7 days Krishna lifts the mountain. Further, here after this Govardhana Puja that we do even till date, or after the Govardhana Leela, Lord Krishna got a name of Govinda. Next is the Rasa Leela, famous Rasa Leela. All the gopis always had a longing for Krishna. They wanted to play and dance with him. That is a famous Rasa Leela incident. Next, after this, what happens is that only for one night Krishna did this, but the gopis started feeling more and more. They wanted Krishna to live with them more and more, and that's when they write the Gopika Geetam, saying that we cannot be away from you for a long time. Then that's when again he reappeared with Gopi. So it was just one Krishna. If you would have seen a picture also, you'll know it is the same one Krishna who assumes different forms, and it shows as if he is playing with each Gopi. Further is, that was the incident of Maharas. So once Rasa Leela takes place, and again a Rasa Leela takes place when the gopis wail saying that, no Krishna, we want to play again, play and dance again with you. That is the Maharasa Leela, it is called. Further is Sudarshana, Shankachura. These are again demons who come in. Demons, or you can say pythons, who come and who try to attack Nandagopa, and that's when both the boys, they save their father Nandagopa. Next is Arishtasura. Arishtasura comes in the form of a bull, and that's when Krishna and Balarama. Balarama here, he tells Krishna here, saying that this bull does not seem to be like a normal bull. It might be a demon who has been sent by Kamsa. We must show him properly. And that's when immediately even this Arishtasura was killed. Finally now Kamsa sends Akrura, and then Akrura says that now you have to come. There is a Mushti Yuddham. Mushti Yuddham is, you can say, with hands, so-called boxing or wrestling. So that's when he invites Krishna and Balarama. Now Akrura was good actually, but then Kamsa's messenger he was, or Kamsa's Duta. So he was sent. That's when Krishna leaves to Mathura. Krishna and Balarama leave to Mathura. Everyone is very, very sad, including Yashoda. Yashoda at that time realizes that all the gopis, Gopalas, everyone is very dejected, saying that Krishna is going away from them. And especially Yashoda at that time realizes that this Krishna is not my biological son, he is a son of Devaki. Her sorrow has got no bounds, but then Krishna assures that I will come back to you soon. But then we don't have any reference wherein Krishna comes back to Yashoda. Somewhere, sometime it is said that Yashoda and Krishna do meet, but not much. So again, that's why even till date we have Yashoda Nandana, Yashoda Lal we say. Though he is born of Devaki, Yashoda has given much importance. This is because she has, her sorrow or the pain that she suffered has got no bounds. For a mother, you say 30-40 years, or you can say 20-25 years, a child stays with you, and one fine day someone comes, no, he is not your child, he is someone else's child. What is the pain of that mother? Only Yashoda could have experienced, and we cannot even think about that. But still, she nurtured Krishna as her own son, and even then, the love and affection that she had towards Krishna did not reduce, and that's the reason why till date, even more than Devaki, we say Yashoda. Devaki is also Devaki Nandana, we do say, but Yashoda Ki Lal, that is most famous cry that we must call out to Krishna. Further, Akrura here gets a darshana of the Chaturhasta form, or the Vishwarupa darshana of the Lord. So Krishna here realizes that Akrura here realizes that Krishna is a form of Lord Vishnu only, and that's how he shows him the original form of Vishnu. Further, they arrive in Mathura, grace on Kubja, a hunched woman who had a hunched back. Krishna tried to bless her, and that's how her hunch went away, and immediately she got the look of a pretty young woman. Next, the bow was broken. There was a bow that was being kept, and they were now after this Kubja was given moksha, after she became after she became a young woman, it is said that a bow was kept there. Krishna tried to show his valor here. Now it was not needed, but still we know Krishna now. Even if you tell him not to do something, that's the first thing that he does. So he went there and just playfully, he sees a bow, he went and broke that. Kamsa there only is frightened, he falls down from his seat thinking that, and now it is said that at this point Kamsa gets double thoughts in his mind, saying that why did I invite even this Krishna and Balarama, and from this point onwards he is afraid of Krishna, saying that now my death is near, but still he does not give up. Same like Ravana. Ravana also, after a certain point of time, he realizes that there is no other option, Rama is going to kill me. He knows that. But in spite of that, he did not give up. That is because both Kamsa and Ravana, they did not believe in the concept of Sharanagati, or they did not believe in the concept of Kshama. Asking someone for forgiveness or to follow the feet of someone, they did not believe in that. That is the reason it led to their destruction. From this, a learning for all of us, to give up in life, or to surrender, or to forgive someone, or to forget something, or to ask for forgiveness. These are all qualities that make us happy, that makes life beautiful. That doesn't mean that for each and everything we ask for forgiveness, even for adharma, but in certain point of time, no, he told me 25 years back something, I will remember that till date, I'll not talk to him till he dies. All such things, some nonsense would have happened. We don't forget that. Whereas people come and praise us, that we forget immediately. But maybe in my school days, one boy, he pinched me, that I remember till date. No, how dare he pinch me? Even today, if I see him on the road, I turn my face and walk away. So such an attitude. I'm just giving you an example. So such an attitude, all of us, this is human mentality. From stories or from characters like Kamsa and Ravana, these are the learnings that we must take. They also have a lot to teach. Though Rama and Krishna are inspirations, Ravana and Kamsa have also got a lot to learn. What not to do. We have do's and don'ts, right? Knowing only the do's is not enough. Don't is also equally important. Otherwise, we want to know what not to do. What to do is fine, but what should I not do? That is also equally important. So that's what characters like Kamsa and Ravana try to show. Further, elephant is killed. The elephant Kuvalaya Pida. Sorry, he comes there. He is drunk fully, and he is also killed. Further, wrestlers Chanura, Mushtika, and so on, they are all killed. Finally, Krishna realizes that now Kamsa has to be killed. He goes and kills Kamsa. Then, till now, the Yajnopavita is not done for Krishna and Balarama. After Kamsa was killed, the Yajnopavita Samskara was done for both the kids, both the boys, Kamsa of Krishna and Balarama. Then Uddhava was sent as a messenger to Nanda's home, saying that everything has been done. So just as a messenger, they were away from Nanda and Yashoda for quite a long time. So Krishna and Balarama sent Uddhava as their messenger. They finally go and meet their original parents, Devaki and Vasudeva, release them from the jail and so on. Ugrasena is given the kingdom further, and from this, with this, the Krishna Leela stories end. Now next we have some reference from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, not reference, you can say some similarity between the Vishnu Purana and Srimad Bhagavatam. We have something called the Brahmara Gita. Now what exactly is this Brahmara Gita? We know only one, Bhagavad Gita. There are many Gitas that are there. Yama Gita, Rudra Gita, Brahmara Gita, and so on. So what is Brahmara Gita? Let us see. Now once Uddhava was sent as a messenger, now all the gopis were excited. So even the previous day, if tomorrow Uddhava was coming, previous day itself they went to Nanda Gopa's home. They were sitting on the outskirts saying, and they were waiting for Uddhava because their Lord Krishna had sent them some message. And immediately when Uddhava came, it is said that he returned on the same chariot on which Krishna and Balarama had gone to Mathura. So at first sight they felt that Krishna and Balarama only have returned back. But then their sorrow, they knew that it was only Uddhava who had come. All the gopis, they became very sad. And there Uddhava comes and he sees them, and there he preaches something to them. And then Uddhava, there he comes and tells that, I'm going to tell you something. Please listen to this preaching of Uddhava. That is, listen to this preaching of myself that I'm going to tell you. Gopis did not like that because they were in sorrow. So they tried to close their ears. They covered their ears. Uddhava felt insulted. I'm speaking and you're trying to close your ears. The gopis said to him that, first of all, we don't know who are you. Secondly, we cannot long to hear your preaching because now we are very sad. We were expecting Krishna and Balarama to return, only you have come. Who are you? We don't know. Therefore, if you want, you speak about Krishna and Balarama, we will give you 1,000 years to listen to that, but not to some other preaching which you have come to give. And we don't want to hear all that. Then Uddhava now, he realizes, saying that they are all longing for Krishna, their whole life is dependent on Krishna, and therefore he introduced himself as a very close friend of Krishna, and that at that point they got a feeling, saying that, oh, this person is surely related to Krishna, and they welcomed and treated Uddhava very, very warmly. And then Uddhava there tells that, he makes the gopis understand that whom you feel is your friend, or he's your loved man, or you treat him as your son, brother, or whatever it is, he's in fact the person who has got no relation at all, no father, no mother, no friend, no brother. He is that one ultimate supreme. Gopi said, for this, therefore, all of you, though he is not physically present in front of you, realize that he is ultimate reality and experience that he is always beside you, and do not cry for him, do not be sorrowful for him. This is what Uddhava makes the gopis understand. But the gopis, they are known for their bhakti. They say that as long as Ghanashyama, there they refer to Lord Krishna as Ghanashyama in the Vishnu Purana, and there they say that as long as Ghanashyama is physically present in front of us, We can keep on speaking on him, we can keep on saying his virtues, we can be very, very happy. But within only 6 months, only 6 months have passed. Now here we know the exact time period after when Krishna has gone to Mathura. So it has been the 6 months period after Krishna has left Vrindavana and gone to Mathura. And it is said that you are the one, oh Uddhava, you have turned him virtueless. As if he has got no qualities, you tell he has no mother, no father, no friend, and so on. How can we believe on this? Now, the gopis were very simple village folk. For them, Krishna was their only person whom they had showered all forms of affection and love. So they could not imagine anything, all this philosophical knowledge that Uddhava was telling. The gopis could not understand anything, and they felt that this Uddhava was a fool. And for them, what they knew was who broke our pitchers, who ate our butter, who stole our clothes, who pastured our cows, and so on. We know only that. And Uddhava was shocked at this, and he felt that my knowledge of Vedanta or the philosophical knowledge that I have, all that is going waste in front of these gopis' knowledge. And at that time, even the gopis also, it is said that they were also feeling a bit awkward, saying that why are we talking all this? This Uddhava has got a completely different mindset. And what this shows is that difference between Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga that is being talked about in Bhagavad Gita. So both of them, even Uddhava wants to reach the Supreme, the gopis also wants to reach the Supreme. Both of them are given moksha, both of them are taken to Vaikuntha. This shows that whatever kinds of devotees we are, you follow the philosophical path or you follow the Bhakti Marga, you follow any path, that doesn't matter to me. You will surely get moksha. I will take care of you, the Lord assures. So here, why this mention of this Brahmana Gita or why this incident of Uddhava and gopis has been mentioned separately? Reason being to tell us that you practice any form of devotion, it doesn't matter. What ultimately matters is your faith that you have. You do this, how you do doesn't matter, but what you do surely matters. So this is how Krishna or the Lord will consider both ways. You do anything, you have a lot of knowledge, you study the Vedanta, Vedas, philosophy and so on, that is fine. Or like the simple gopis, you just read about the stories. He was the one who stole our butter, he broke our pitchers, he stole our clothes and so on. That is also a form of bhakti. The Lord says, I will consider even that. Now coming back, it is said that what happened at this time was even Radha Rani was also present amongst the gopis, and at that time a bee, a bumblebee or a bhramara, whom we call like a honeybee, it came and it bit Radha's feet, mistaking it for lotus. That was how was the feet of Radha Rani, Charana Kamalam. So all the gopis say that, all the gopis immediately looked at her and say that, oh, they look at the bee and said that this Radha Rani is the most devoted, or you can say the most favorite gopi of Krishna. Don't go dare and bite her. She will suffer pain. Krishna will come and punish you. Now, this is what the gopis tell the Brahmara. So at that time, and then they continue, they keep on talking about that, and what they tell is, he was the one who gave us love. He was the one who left us. He doesn't have any emotions for us. He does not have any feelings for us. He was the one, Lord Krishna was the one who had developed all this, who had developed the love and feelings, all that we started developing for Krishna. It was all because of him, and now he has just left us and gone away. So why is the bumblebee coming here and biting this Radharani's leg? Why this is happening? You should not trouble at least this Radharani. Though Krishna has left us, Radharani is a form of Lord Krishna only. She is the most devoted of Lord Krishna. She is the most beloved of Lord Krishna. So if Radha is amongst us, we feel that Krishna is only amongst us. Oh bumblebee, you should not cause any trouble to this. Now further, what happens is that they keep on. Now Radha here is considered to be a form of goddess Mahalakshmi. Now when they look at this, it is said that now all this they were speaking, and Uddhava was listening to all this. So there what happens is that they keep on conversing with the bumblebee continuously, and they say that why you have come and touched the feet of goddess Mahalakshmi, or goddess, that is goddess Radha Rani in the form of Mahalakshmi. Is there any reason for that? And later they realize that though Krishna is not there, Radha, because she's considered to be an incarnation of goddess Mahalakshmi, so therefore along with Rukmini, even Radha is also considered in some references, at least in the Vishnu Purana. So there it tells that at least, so it is as if you have come to console us, saying that if Krishna is not there, at least Radha is there. So you come, so looking at you, maybe we should be consoled. Now all this Uddhava was hearing, and Uddhava felt that this is true philosophy, or this is true Vedanta. Now what is this? How does Uddhava relate this to Vedanta, or how does Uddhava relate this to philosophy? It is said that Vedanta is something. What exactly is Vedanta? Will be just principles. Do this, do that. there is nothing, no form at all, no material life at all, there is only one supreme reality. But then saying this is easy, but even in the form of a bumblebee, even in the form of this Brahmara also, the gopis took the bumblebee to be a messenger of Lord Krishna. They realized that Charana Kamalam, or the lotus feet of Radharani, and there they felt so bad saying that, there Uddhava felt so bad saying that, I boast that I have great knowledge of Vedanta, philosophy and so on, but I did not develop these thoughts that these are the feet of the Lord, I should surrender to them, or why this bumblebee has come in. I could not think of all this, but these gopis were just normal village folk women. They realized this, so their philosophy, their bhakti has got nothing to do in front of my philosophy. And like this, they keep on talking with regards to the bee. They keep on conversing with bee. They try to vent out all their emotions. Now, what is this conversation that takes place? This is nothing but the Brahmara Gita. So, the gist of Brahmara Gita is nothing but the gopis try to vent out all their emotions. They try to speak out all the sorrow. It comes out from the deepest of their hearts. Uddhava also feels very sorry for them, and it is said that he stays in Vrindavana for the next 6 months, and he goes to each and every place where Krishna had spent his childhood. Then, while he was returning back to Mathura, Yashoda gives him butter, Radha gives him a flute, and so on. And further, when Uddhava he reached Mathura, he just made one statement. He said, "Oh Lord, the real appearance of love that I saw in Vrindavana, that is the only truth. There is nothing Vedanta, no philosophy, nothing. If I don't have bhakti, if I don't have devotion, there is no place for Vedanta only." Now let me make one thing very clear. Does this mean that I should not study Vedanta? Does this mean that I should not study philosophy? I'll just be singing Rama Krishna, Radhe Krishna and move about here and there? No. Study of philosophies or getting knowledge is very, very important. But without faith, without bhakti, everything is waste. I'll give you a simple example. We all worship the Lord. Say for example, now tomorrow I'm going to worship Lord Shiva being Monday. But if in the back of my mind I have thought, what Shiva? As if Shiva is going to come in front of me. Problems are anyways going to be there. I'm only going to face. Why should I worship this Lord Shiva? Having all these thoughts in my mind, if I still am sitting and maybe doing abhisheka to him, putting flowers and so on, is of no use. From outside people are feeling that I'm doing everything. But in the back of my mind, I'm not having even 1% bhakti. Then what is the use? Same thing here, Uddhava says that all the knowledge, everything from the books, philosophy, everything I have got. Oh Krishna, I have spent my entire childhood with you, you are my best friend. But in spite of all that, I could not imbibe. Now that doesn't mean that Uddhava did not have bhakti. But as compared to the gopis, he was nothing. And from the gopis, he told that this Vrindavana is a place, that which you have left and come, that is the only place of love. Even today, those you go to Vrindavana and Mathura, people, Dwaraka and so on, Gokula, you can experience the bliss and devotion that the people have till date towards Lord Krishna. We don't have to go anywhere searching about here and there, but you have just get immersed in the bhakti. So this is what is the Brahmara Gita. Now after this, what happens is that, and saying all this now, towards the end, Uddhava says all this and he starts weeping. For this, Krishna consoles him saying that, you just look at me and stop crying. And now when Uddhava, with wide open eyes, when he looked at Lord Krishna, it is said that in every single hair, in every single body hair that Krishna had, there was one gopi standing there. He could see one gopi. So then Uddhava was shocked. He did not understand what is this. Krishna tells them, all these gopis have shown me so much of love and affection that I have imbibed, or I have ensured that they are all a part of me. That is the reason why you can see each gopi in my hair, in each of my body hair. So this is what. Thus the Lord, he sent Uddhava to Vrindavana to teach him what is love, what exactly is love. So Krishna and Radha are said to be the god of love, or prema, sneha that we have towards people, love, affection. Rama Avatara, Matsya Avatara, all other avatars are there. But what is the main thing that Krishna Avatara tries to show, or what is the one thing that from Krishna, even today if we worship Krishna, one thing that we learn is just love, pure love and affection. Further, you will have anything in life, but then if you don't have love and affection towards people or towards things around, then there is no use at all. Now after the death of Kamsa, what happens? That is the continuation. He had 2 queens, Asti Prapti. They returned to their father Jarasandha's home. And as usual, Jarasandha, he was an enemy. He launched a massive attack on Mathura. He said, no, my daughters have become widows because of this Krishna. 21 times he comes and attacks, and finally, even though every time he returned back, but still he did not give up. He kept on, not 21 times, 17 times. 17 times Jarasandha kept attacking Mathura. Every time the Lord defeated him, and released him, kindness saying that no, you are my aunt's father, almost a grandfather figure to me, so I should not do any harm. So he used to defeat and he used to leave him. But in spite of that, what happened is that every time Jarasandha used to launch a new attack. And once it so happened that instead of attacking Mathura himself, Jarasandha sent Kalyavan. Those who have attended the Vishnu Sahasranama session, meaning session yesterday, we had one Nama in praise of Kalyavan. I told you when Krishna shifted to Dwaraka, that is the same Kalyavan. He came here, he launched an attack on Mathura with 1 crore strong Malechha army. Now Malechha are a category of people, or you can say a tribe so-called living. They were very strong people. And at this time Lord Krishna decides that I should leave this place and go to Mathura instead of counter-attacking. Now why did he do so? Does this mean that Krishna was afraid? Or he did not want to face the army? Did he want to run away from the situation? No. But whenever a war takes place, we have to keep a few things in mind. He thought that with 1 crore army, if it comes, it will also affect the innocent people of my kingdom, innocent civilians of Mathura. Therefore, this strike should not be done. Therefore, this war should not be fought. Let us vacate Mathura immediately and let us all shift to Dwaraka. They go to Dwarakapuri, which was constructed by Vishwakarma, we say, by the divine grace of Lord Krishna only, and all the people were settled at Mathura. And next, it is said that unarmed. Now, unarmed is without having any arms. Lord Krishna, he returned back. He wanted to kill Kalyavan, otherwise Kalyavan will cause him more trouble. He returns back after ensuring that all the people are safely settled in Dwaraka. He returns back to Mathura, and Krishna, they have challenges with each other. Kalyavan keeps on chasing Krishna for a long time, but finally he could not catch him. And then it is said that what happens here is that both of them, they enter a cave. Now Kalyavan started chasing Krishna. Now this is the Muchukunda avatar. Muchukunda is very, very important character even in the Srimad Bhagavatam. What it is, we will have a look. So now Kalyavan, he enters a cave. Now both of them were chasing. So there was a man sleeping, and it is said that Kalyavan, what happens is that he covered the man who was sleeping, the Lord. Now Lord always wears a pitambaram, that is a yellow color cloth. So with that cloth, he covered the sleeping man. The Lord covered the sleeping man. Kalyavan thought that the sleeping man only is the Lord because he is wearing yellow clothes, and he kills the man. And as soon as the man awakened, so he kicked. Now before killing, it is said that when he tried to kill the man, he could not do that. His arm suddenly he could not attack. So what happens is that he kicks the sleeping man. So when he kicks, it is said that immediately the man who was sleeping there, he got awakened. And once he awoke, it so happened that he just glanced at sorry sorry he just gave a look to Kalyavan, and immediately Kalyavan was destroyed. Now the Lord had not done anything, but that sleeping man, he just looked at Kalyavan, and then that was how he destroyed. He got destroyed, or he got burnt, you can say. He got reduced into ashes. Now here again the original conversation of Maitreya and Parashara comes in. That is a conversation in Vishnu Purana. So Maitreya asks Parashara, who was this sleeping man? Krishna did not kill him. Krishna could not do anything to Kalyavan, or rather he did not do anything. But the sleeping man, he just gave a glance to Kalyavan and he was reduced to ashes. Who exactly was the sleeping man? Parashara said that this sleeping man was none but Muchukunda, who was the son of the king Mandata. And it is said that the gods had taken the help of Muchukunda and defeated the demons. So therefore, he had got a boon of seeing God in the Dwapara Yuga. So Muchukunda had got a boon that he will see the Lord in the Dwapara Yuga. Dwapara Yuga is during Krishna's tenure. So then Muchukunda, no, he was such a simple man. He said that what should I do till then? So the gods told him that you sleep somewhere, and you sleep somewhere nicely, and the person who wakes you, he will be destroyed at once. So this was the boon that he was given. Kalyavan was the first person who came, and he woke up Muchukunda, and immediately he was destroyed. So that's how unknowingly Muchukunda actually destroyed Kalyavan, and that's when the original boon was granted. Krishna was standing beside, he got the divine darshan of Krishna, and that's how Muchukunda saw Krishna in the Dwapara Yuga. And he got the sight of the God in the Chaturbhuja form, and he had done this devotion. How he had got this? For 3 continuous births he had sought. He had done a lot of devotion. That's how he got the darshan of the Lord in the Chaturbhuja form. And further, the Lord then defeated the entire Malechha army that Kalyavan had brought along with him. He also defeated Jarasandha, and thus all the people of Dwaraka also were very, very happy. Then Balarama's marriage. There was a king, Raivata. Anartha was a kingdom. The king of this place was Raivata. He got his daughter Revati married to Balarama. Balarama is married. Next is Rukmini Haranam. Rukmini sends a message to the Lord Shishupala. I'm going to be married to Shishupala. You please come. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you see 7 verses, 7 beautiful lines as Rukmini Haranam, she writes a very beautiful letter to Krishna. Not much detail is mentioned here in the Vishnu Purana, but in the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you refer, 7 beautiful verses, letter, Rukmini's Patram, Rukmini Patram. Rukmini writes a letter to Krishna. Finally, Krishna, she kidnaps, he picks off Rukmini, and that's how both of them, they get married. Rukmini, the brother of Rukmini, was evil. He was killed. Shishupala was killed. Further, Rukmini and Krishna are married to each other. Pradyumna is born. An Asura, Shabara Asura was an Asura who comes here at this incident. He is also killed. Then we have the story of the Shamantaka Mani. Now this Shamantaka was nothing but, there was a king called Satrajit. Now the Satrajit, it is said that he was a great devotee of Lord Surya Narayana, that is the sun god. And sun god, pleased by his devotion, had given him a gem called Shamantika. Now it was very, very bright, and it is said that Satrajita, the Lord had met the Satrajit, and he said that your gem is very, very beautiful. So my maternal grandfather Ugrasena, that is Devaki's father Ugrasena, he was actually the king of this region originally. So it will be good if you present this gem to him. He will be very, very happy because he is the original ruler of this land. Satrajit refused. He said, why should I do that? I am the one who showed my devotion. Sun god has given it to me. Why should I do it? Now Satrajit, at this time, what happened is that Satrajit's brother was Prasenjit. Prasenjit, he unknowingly, he had taken this gem, he wore it around his neck, and he went out for hunting. Now in those times, hunting was the only source of entertainment for the kings. Prasenjit sets out wearing the Shamantaka gem in his neck, and he goes out for hunting. In the forest, a lion comes and kills him and snatches the gem. And further, this lion was killed by Jambavan. Jambavan, the bear in the Ramavatara. Jambavan takes the gem. Jambavan takes the gem and gives it to his children to play. And that's when Prasenjit, he did not return from hunting. Satyajit gets worried and he accused Krishna that you are the one who has killed my brother for the gem. Now it was not Krishna at all. Krishna had just told that if you want, you can give it to Ugrasena because he is the original ruler of this land. But he never killed Prasenjit and so on. But Satyajit, he believed that maybe this can be one of the reason why, because Krishna had earlier asked me for the gem. So because he did not get it, he would have killed my brother. So he starts making all these false claims. Now this is relatable to today's times incidents that take place, that wherever we put wrong accusations on people, saying that no, without knowing the truth, we put wrong accusations, and no, this person was discussing like that, so maybe he was only responsible for doing so and so action and so on. So even in those times also we had the same incidents. Now when Lord Krishna heard that he was being blamed, he took a pledge that I myself will go and find out who is the true person who has stolen this gem and where it is. He found the dead body of Prasenjit, but he could not find the gem. Then he found the footprints of a lion nearby. He follows the footprints. Then he got the footprints of a great bear, that is Jambavan. Then, following the footprints, he reaches a cave where Jambavan's daughter Jambavati, she was playing with this gem. Then she was a small girl who was playing. Lord Krishna goes and he tries to bring the gem back from home. Jambavan arrived. He said, how come I bought this gem? How come you come and steal it from me? For continuously 26 days, both Jambavan and Krishna fight with each other. Jambavan forgets at this incident that in the previous Rama Avatara, he was a great devotee of Rama. The same Rama today has come in the form of Krishna, but today he is fighting with Krishna. This is how life changes for all of us. Life lesson for all of us again, that just because today we have good relations, tomorrow we don't know whether it will be the same. Just because today we are good doesn't mean that tomorrow also it will be the same conditions. That is the reason why we have to continuously pray for giving good intelligence, to be wise always, to be on the good path and so on. So just like one example is this Jambavan. So they continuously fight for 26 days, and finally what happens is on the 27th day, Jambavan tells the Lord that please stop. So Jambavan was an old bear, right from the Vamana Avatara times. He was living Vamana Avatara, Rama Avatara, Krishna Avatara, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. So 3 yugas he has already lived. So on the 27th day, Jambavan tells Krishna that please stop. So the Lord asks, that what happened? Are you tired? So then Jambavan says, no, I am not tired, but I have realized whom you are. And he was feeling very guilty. He realized that you are the same Lord Rama whom I had worshipped. I was a great devotee in the previous birth, but sorry that I could not realize. But at least now, because I was a great devotee of Rama in the previous birth, at least now I have got the sadbuddhi, or the right thought, that to realize you in this birth. So again, a learning for all of us, that whenever we feel that, where are all my actions going? I'm doing so much good. All the actions or whatever I'm doing, everything is good. Where is the result? I cannot see that. Because Jambavan had been a great devotee of Rama, at least on the 27th day, he realizes that the Lord in front of me is the same Rama who has come today in the form of Krishna. So efforts that we put in never go waste. This incident tries to show that. So then he realizes that, you please take, and he feels very guilty. He takes, you please take the gem with you, but along with the gem he says that I will also give you my daughter Jambavati, please marry Jambavati. So out of the Ashtamahishis, 8 principal chief queens of Krishna, Jambavati is one of them. Krishna marries Jambavati, also gives back, he returns the gem to Satyajit. Now here you see the difference between Krishna and Kamsa. Krishna had earlier told Satyajit, he requests Satyajit that you give it to my maternal grandfather Ugrasena. But Satyajit, he refuses. In fact, he also accuses Krishna. Now, Krishna was the one who had found out the gem. He had got it back from Jambavan. He could have very easily kept it with him, or he could have given it to his grandfather Ugrasena without giving it back to Satyajit. He did not do that. This shows the difference between Krishna and Kamsa, Krishna and Ravana, Rama, Ravana, and so on. This is the difference between good people or righteous people and evil people. Krishna did not keep that. He was true to his promise. He gives back to the original owner, Satyajit, and he marries Jambavati, and they stay happily. Further is the marriage of Satyabhama and Krishna. Now, how does this happen? Let us see. Okay, before this, just one second. Is everyone understanding till here? I hope the flow is proper. Yes?
Yes, no issue, no problem.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have one question.
Yes.
Jambavan is common between Ramayana and...
It is the same Jambavan. Same Jambavan. Same character.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, it is the same Jambavan. Yeah. Even in the Vamana Avatara also we have the same Jambavan. Right from the Vamana Avatara times, we have Trivikrama Avatara as we call. In that, you have the same Jambavan, Rama Avatara same Jambavan, and in the Krishna Avatara. So in bears in those times, or this species of bears that Jambavan belonged to, they had long life in those times. For lakhs of years they could stay. Now the marriage of Satyabhama and Krishna. Now Satyajit, he felt very ashamed. He said, oh, Krishna is such a true man. Today if he wanted, he could have given me, he could have taken the gem, but he did not do that. He was so truthful. So what he did was that, he was getting afraid that now without a reason, it's as if I developed enmity with Krishna. Now what should I do? Therefore, what he tells is, he feels that I will return back the Shyamanta Kamani to Krishna, and at the same time, I will also give my daughter Satyabhama in marriage to him. Now the Satyabhama was none but Bhuma Devi. Therefore, now again a learning for all of us. Now through all the incidents of Krishna Avatara, if you pick up each and everything, we can speak in that. But through this, what happens is that in life, when we feel that why so and so thing is happening without any reason, you might not know the reasons immediately, but later we might realize, or why few things happen this way, it is because of destiny, we say. Satyabhama here is an incarnation of Bhuma Devi, goddess earth. She had taken an incarnation as Satyabhama, just as Rukmini was a form of Mahalakshmi. Similarly, Satyabhama was a form of goddess Bhuma Devi. Bhuma Devi is goddess earth. She had taken birth, so she had to be married ultimately to her Lord. When she had taken an incarnation, she had to be married to Krishna, who is originally Vishnu. So how to put these things, how to ensure that all this falls in place, that's when all this incident comes in. Satyajit feels bad, he offers the Shamantaka gem, and thus Satyabhama is married to Krishna. So the learning for all of us is, always when we try to seek answers, we must know the behind story. Now those who know that Satyabhama is an incarnation of goddess Bhuma Devi, that is the reason why she had to be married to Krishna, that is the reason why Satyajit offered it to her, will not argue. Whereas now there might be a few people who don't know this. They might say, tell Satyajit that this Krishna, why you are offering to Krishna. There are so many other people, this cowherd belonging to a Yadava Kula, who is jumping about from here and there, Gokula, Vrindavana, Mathura, Dwaraka. He does not have a place of his own, why are you behind him? Or he has already married Jambavati, Rukmini and so on, why still you want to offer Satyabhama? There are so many other kings, right? But why some things happen in life, That is because there are a few things, few reasons for it. It's not that we must know all the reasons, or just because I don't know a reason doesn't mean that the thing is false at all. We must do our own research before we make any claims. Okay, so coming back, so why I'm telling you this is, it's not that we should just listen to the Puranic stories, okay, Krishna married Satyabhama and go about. That is fine, all of us know this. But what is the learning out of this? How can I apply it in my life? That also little we must look at. So all the Puranas and Upanishads, it's not just, or whatever we learn, Ramayana, Mahabharata and so on. It's not just, okay, the story is there, it is our history, it is our culture, it is our tradition. We just listen to that, feel happy, feel wonderful, wow, so much is mentioned and move about. No. There is surely a connection between each and every incident that takes place. We must have the right thinking power to accept and what we can learn out of that. Okay, so like this, Satyabhama is married, so one more queen comes in the custody out of the Ashtamahishis. Bhuma Devi is married to Krishna. Now what happened is that Lord Krishna accepted Satyabhama as wife, and it is said that, but he returns back the Shamantaka. He says that no, Lord Surya Deva has given you this gift, so you keep it with you only. And what you do is, the Shamantaka money, the gold that you have from this money, from this gem had a lot of gold. So you do one thing, that from this, whatever gold you get, you keep that with you in your treasury only. This is what they tell. And further, with Satyabhama's marriage now, there were a lot of problems coming in. Not all the kings like that. Then the Shamantaka gem was also stolen, but finally it was returned and so on. Further now, the Lord's marriage with different queens happens like Kalindi, Mitravinda, Satya and so on. Also with Bhadra, then with Lakshmana. Lakshmana was a daughter of the king of Mathura. Lakshmana, don't get confused, Rama's brother Lakshmana. Here Lakshmana is a female. Lakshmana, Akaranta, it is a female here. He marries Lakshmana, a queen. Further, there were a lot of princes who were staying with Bhaumasura. He had kept a lot of girls and princesses with him. He married all of them. Then, now, let me tell you one thing. Whenever we say that he married someone, that doesn't mean that, or we say for Krishna it is almost 16,108 wives. Does this mean that Krishna was into the family way or in the family? What exactly is marriage? Marriage is, in those times, what happens, or even in today's times also, marriage is like a protective element. So why Krishna married a particular princess was to ensure that she was protected. That is the reason if you go to Dwaraka and in the nearby areas, it is said that for each of the princesses, Krishna had built a separate palace to ensure that all of them lived happily and comfortably. That doesn't mean that he went into the family way of everyone. Krishna has got 16,108 wives. Why there is a rule today as per law that I should marry only one wife? With one wife, one husband also, we cannot live properly. But nobody thinks logically about this. Something like this comes, especially such sensational comments are made, we fight up. Or in the news next, tomorrow something will come in saying that Krishna married 16,000 times, I can marry only once. Why? You think logically that Krishna could build 16,000 palaces for each of his wives. Can I build even one house for my own family? That is also difficult, right? So such things we don't care about. So the point is, marriage doesn't mean that always you go in the family way, keep on begetting children and just enjoy all the pleasures. It was for a safety, or it is to ensure that each kingdom that was being defeated, that king used to give his daughter, and to ensure that Krishna protected that queen and ensure that the queen lived happily and comfortably all her life. Now how this could be done? Without marrying, you cannot stay with a normal girl, right? So therefore marriage had to be done, and that is the reason why Krishna had so many wives. And why that, this is one story. Now this is not mentioned in the Vishnu Purana, but there is one more reference that in the Rama Avatara there were many sages who were there during whom Rama, Lakshmana and Sita met during Vanavasa. So each of them felt that we should spend some time with Rama, we should spend some time with Rama. They kept on telling Rama that we will come with you, all the 14 years we would like to spend with you. But then Rama felt that every time everyone keeps coming along, then there will be a lot of disturbance. I have come to the forest to do tapas, penance and so on. If every time people come in, like for example at our houses also, if continuously guests come in every day, we don't like, right? One fine day someone comes, that also we don't like. Once they go, we start making comments, that is different. But every day continuously someone or the other person comes, we get irritated. We say, what? None of my work is getting over. Or we don't have some time for ourselves, someone is coming, our entire day goes in that, right? So same here also, Rama felt that if someone comes along always, then or that too sages and all, I have to ensure that they are taken care of properly. So along with Lakshmana and Sita, I cannot focus much, I cannot do penance, I cannot do tapas, I cannot do my own meditation, swadhyaya and so on. So therefore he promises, all the sages that in my next incarnation, that is in the Krishna Avatara, I will spend time with all of you. And that is the reason why he had to marry so many princes. All those 16,000 wives were nothing but, apart from his Ashtamahishis, all those 16,108 approximately, these wives were nothing but sages who were reborn as princesses or gopis, you can consider, in the Krishna Avatara. Now, for people who don't know all this, they will sit and argue. But for people who know, now they know a reason. We cannot say that Krishna married 16,000 times, I have married only once. So there is no place for controversy. Why I am telling you all this is, if we ourselves, we believe in all this, or we don't argue, we will have 10 elements outside who argue on such things, right? So first thing, we need not give an answer to everyone back. And at the same time, but we must know answers for ourselves. So this is very, very important. When someone makes such comments, even though we might not believe, but still it has an impact on our mind. Why he said so? Especially such comments, negative comments, or such sensational comments, when they are made, it stays on our mind for a long time. And then it disturbs us a lot. It should not impact at all. So that is the reason I am giving you this explanation in detail. Further, Pradyumna. Who was Pradyumna? Rukmavati. Now Rukmavati was a daughter of Rukmi, that is the brother of Rukmani. Now she saw Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Pradyumna was the son of Krishna, so he was married. Pradyumna, he abducted Rukmavati, just like his father abducted Krishna, just as his father Krishna abducted Rukmani. Similarly, this Pradyumna also, he abducted Rukmavati, and that's how they married. And further, it is said that the tradition went about that way, that Rukmi's granddaughter, Rochana, he married Krishna's grandson Aniruddha. So Krishna Rukmani, Pradyumna Rukmavati, Aniruddha Rochana. So this is how the tradition goes. They went about marrying their own sons, grandsons, and so on. Further, Aniruddha also married another lady called Usha. This comes in the Banasura reference. Today morning, those who attended the Sanskrit class, we had seen this Banasura, Usha, and so on. Okay. Next, with this, we see that Paundraka, there was a person called Paundraka, King Paundraka, who was given moksha. All this is not mentioned in detail. Further, we have a monkey. Now, this is very, very interesting. You must look at this in detail. There was a monkey called Dvivida. He was a friend of Bhasmasura. Now, Bhasmasura, when he heard that this Bhasmasura was killed by Krishna, he became very angry. And he caused, now this monkey was very strong, he caused large scale destruction in the entire place, in the entire kingdom. He started troubling the normal people, uprooting trees. He showed his monkey behavior everywhere. And once it so happened that, now animals, if you see, if you try to distract them, for example, especially monkeys, we have many people who keep these monkeys and they try to show different tricks and so on. Especially if you go on the beach or so, you will find people. Now, of course, today all these activities are banned, but still, at least a few years back, we have those people who show different tricks with a monkey and so on. So what happened is that Balarama, he did an idea. He told his servants that you play some sweet music and you try to distract this monkey. So the monkey got distracted, and amidst young women, it is said that Balarama was also there. Balarama was standing nearby, and it is said that after this, hearing the sweet music, the monkey lost his senses, and there were a lot of women standing nearby, and this monkey started behaving very indecently. He did not realize, he did not do it on purpose, but because of the music he got distracted, he did not know how to react. Balarama was nearby, he got very angry. Immediately he threw a pestle. Pestle was called Sunanda. With that he threw the monkey, and that's how the Dvivida, this monkey, was killed. So very, very interesting. Why I told you interesting is we don't know the killing of a monkey also, that has been mentioned. So this monkey Dvivida was killed by Balarama. Next, Samba was the son of Lord Krishna, who was born to Jambavati, and the marriage of Samba takes place with Lakshmana. Now, who was this Lakshmana? This is another Lakshmana. Now we have got three Lakshmana. One is Lakshmana, Rama's brother. Second Lakshmana, Krishna's wife Lakshmana. Third Lakshmana, Duryodhana's daughter Lakshmana, who married Samba, daughter of Krishna and Jambavati. So if you see, Krishna's entire family is known for kidnapping. So he had also kidnapped this Lakshmana, daughter of Duryodhana. Now note one thing. Now kidnapping is actually or legally wrong. Then why did Krishna himself kidnap? It was for a good cause. Things were not done in the right way sometimes for good behavior or to ensure that dharma is existing or for doing the right things. It is necessary that little we try to shift our actions. For example, a mother, say for example, she will always be very loving to her child. But in spite of being loving, in spite of telling the child 10 times, if the child does not listen, she might raise her voice. We must not scold a child, we must not shout at a child, we must not beat a child. But at times when it is necessary, in order to teach the child a lesson properly, the mother has to show her anger. So maybe she gives him a small slap or so. Then the child realizes it will not do the same thing next time. So therefore, Krishna, Aniruddha, Samba, why did they do this? Kidnapping is wrong, but why did they do it? The same reason. Like I gave you this example of a mother and son. At times, when the opposite person, like for example, Krishna, he had to kidnap Rukmini because Rukmini and Shishupala were evil. Samba had to kidnap Lakshmana because Duryodhana was evil. Rukmi's son Rukmavati, Pradyumna had to kidnap Rukmavati because Rukmi was evil. So like this everywhere, when the opposite person, when they know that if this girl or if this so-called princess, now in the case of Rukmini, if you take, if she marries Shishupala, her life is going to be in danger. So therefore, because he was an evil man right from the time he was born. So therefore, to establish dharma or to ensure that things are done on the right path, if by always being good with people things don't work, then we have to take some actions. Therefore, these people have kidnapped so and so princess and so on. So this Samba, he kidnapped this Lakshmana and she married. Of course, he had to face a lot of fights and everything with the Kauravas. Duryodhana did not like it. He faced all that and finally he brought back Lakshmana to Dwaraka. Further, the Lord sets out to Indraprastha, the capital of Yudhishthira. There he kills Jarasandha in the Rajasuya Yajna of Yudhishthira. Further, Shishupala is also given moksha. Shishupala, Dantavaktra, they are incarnation of Jaya and Vijaya. Further, Shalva. Now Shalva, he was a childhood friend of Shishupala. Now he got very angry when Shalva here, he got very angry when Shishupala was killed. He was a childhood friend of Shishupala. Now this Shalva, he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva and he had got a boon that he had an aeroplane which could not be attacked by gods, demons, nagas, nothing. And it is said that this aeroplane, especially by the Yaduvamshis, that is people belonging to the Yadava clan, that is Krishna's family, they could not touch it at all. Now, he was very smart, Shalva. He knew that Krishna and Balarama were known for killing people. So therefore he asked such a boon that none of these Yaduvamshis should come and touch me. So then what happened is that, who killed him? Shalva. He knew that nobody could kill him, so he did mass destruction. He destroyed the people, buildings, he started attacking and so on. Now Pradyumna, son of Krishna, he got enraged. He said what this person is doing, and immediately he went about, a very fierce battle started between Pradyumna and Shalva. And at this time what happened is that the Lord, he tried to wound Shalva with many arrows and he tried to break his aeroplane also. The Lord Krishna also reached this place where the war was taking place between Pradyumna and Shalva. So he tried to do anything, but then it could not be done because he had the boon that was being given. So what happened is that, but one boon he had not asked. He had told the names of all the weapons, but he had not told the name of one weapon, that is a Sudarshana Chakra. Sudarshana Chakra was one thing. Now, though Krishna was an Yaduvamshi, then how can Sudarshana Chakra belongs to him? Only when Krishna sets it out, it will go and kill. So it should not actually kill, right, as per the boon. But Sudarshana Chakra is one wherein we don't have to throw it like a chakra. You don't have to put in any physical efforts. Krishna just had to tell the Sudarshana Chakra like it went behind Durvasa. In the Ambarisha Charitam we know. Lord did not run with the Sudarshana Chakra in his hand behind Durvasa. The Sudarshana Chakra did his work by itself. Therefore, here also Sudarshana Chakra was just given orders by the sun, by the Lord, and that's how it went and it killed Shalva. Shalva also died there. Now, why the Sudarshana Chakra or even the Shankha of the god, Panchajanyam? Panchajanyam is the name of the conch that the Lord has. Why they are revered as, maybe you can say, human, or why we don't have to physically use them? Like you just tell them how does it go about. This conch and the Sudarshana Chakra are also revered as demigods only. That is the reason they were born as Bharata and Shatrugna. If they were just mere weapons whom we had to use physically, then they will not be born as Bharata and Shatrugna. Sheshanaga was Lakshmana, Lord Rama was Lord Vishnu himself, Shatrugna, the conch and the Sudarshana Chakra were incarnations of Bharata and Shatrugna. So therefore the conch, Panchajanyam and Sudarshana Chakra were independent of themselves. Therefore it could also kill Shalva, and at the same time none of the boon, the rules of the boon, they were also not disturbed. Further, Dantavaktra was also killed. Now, Dantavaktra, we don't have a lot of reference at all. Dantavaktra, it was just a normal fight that happened between the Lord and him, and that's how easily he just hit at the chest of Dantavaktra, and Dantavaktra fell down dead. Further, we have the story of Kuchela, Sudama. Sudama approaches, comes to Krishna, he brings the puffed rice with him. And now Sudama did not directly come, his wife persuaded him a lot, saying that we are living in extreme conditions of poverty. Please go and consult your friend Krishna, who does welfare, or who has done everything good to everyone. He blesses everyone. Why will he not bless you? Sudama was hesitant at first. He says, we are so poor, I cannot even take with me anything. What, this puffed rice, how will I take with me? Raw rice, that also just 4 handfuls it is mentioned here. Just 4 handfuls. That's what they could afford. And that he just tied it in a piece of cloth, and Sudama's wife gave it to Sudama, saying that you give it to him. Sudama feels ashamed. When he reaches Dwaraka, now Krishna, he treats him, gives him a very royal treatment, washes his feet, hands and everything. But then here again the Lord feels that Sudama feels humiliated. He feels very guilty, saying that I am a poor Brahmin. Now people will keep names, right? A king serving a beggar, how does it look? But then Krishna here again a teaching, again a learning for all of us, that there is no discrimination. Whoever is a person in front of you, we must not have that attitude at all, saying that I am big, or I belong to a higher class, you belong to a lower class. For everyone, in the eyes of the Lord, we are all the same. Krishna also has done the same thing to his childhood friend Arjuna, childhood friend Sudama, just because today I am on a good stage in life, I am at a very, maybe financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, professionally, if I am up and if someone is down, doesn't mean that I forget my childhood friendship with you. And then it is said that Sudama was a bit hesitant to give those 4 handfuls of rice. He finally gives it to Krishna. Krishna snatches from him and he eats it very happily. That is the reason why even till date we do the Nevidyam of raw rice or puffed rice to the Lord, and he is very happy when we do that. And finally he ensures that now Sudama, he blesses Sudama. Now Sudama, just by looking at Krishna, he forgets, or he does not feel like asking the boons that his wife had told, that you ask for a good way of life and so on. She tells him everything, the list of things. We are facing utmost poverty, you please go and ask. But even without Sudama could not ask anything. He said, no, I should not ask anything. For me only pure devotion is there. The Lord will take care of everything. He returns back home. When he returns back, he could not see his hut. He just sees the kingdom. He just sees a big palace. He sees his wife decked in good ornaments, jewels and so on, all his children wearing royal clothes. And immediately his wife comes running to welcome. See, you have not even returned back from Dwaraka, and the Lord has blessed us. Sudama, he goes in his puja room, falls at the feet of the Lord and says that even without me asking, you have blessed me with all kinds of riches and pleasures. I did not even ask you. What I bought for you is just 4 handfuls of rice, but look at your karuna, look at your compassion that you have for devotees. If devotion is true, if faith is true, if bhakti is true, the Lord will surely come and give us more than what we deserve. That is what we learn through this Sudha Master. Further, towards the end, again the Lord comes, he meets the gopis, then Vasudeva does a yajna and so on. Then Krishna and Balarama, then Devaki's 6 sons who were there, they were all killed. So Krishna and Devaki. Now here it is very, very interesting. Now Devaki had heard the story that now we have a reference that Sandipani's son had died, and as Guru Dakshina, Krishna had brought back the dead son of Sandipani. Devaki had heard this through some sources, and now that Krishna and Balarama were with her, she also made this request that you brought Sandipani's, your Guru's dead son back. I have also lost 6 sons, and both of you also, I missed spending your childhood with all of you, though now both of you are with me. What about my first 6 sons? So can you bring me back, or at least you show me? Now it is Krishna could not refuse this. Both of them went to Sutala Loka. What is Sutala Loka? Sutala Loka is one heaven that is there. Both of them reached there. And there Bali is a Raja. Vamana Avatara reference Bali, Mahabali. He welcomed both of them and said that what he could do. And at that time 6 sons, the Lord said that 6 sons were born, and they were my elder brothers. So I want to meet them. Can I get them back? So then Bali said, okay, let me just see. Now here the Lord gives the reference who exactly were the 6 sons and why were they killed by Kamsa. Again, there is a reason for everything that happens in life. Now these 6 sons were born to Urna, Urna, were born to a lady Urna, who was the wife of Prajapati Marichi. Now there were many Prajapatis, out of that one was Marichi. So Marichi and Purna, they gave birth to the 6 sons, and they were all gods. Now once it is said that they had once they had seen Brahma trying to get physical with his own daughter. And when Brahma saw this, now in those times, let me tell you, how can now a question should come to our minds, how can Brahma do something like this? Now in those times, Brahmadeva, and the age or the difference that was there between a father and a daughter, like it could be too much, or at the same time they had a lot of Manasa Putra also, mind born sons, not biologically, but still, or not maybe physically the sons and children were not born, but maybe Jambava, Narada and so on, they were all Manasa Putras. So therefore such rules were not being followed then. But still, on the part of Brahma, it was wrong. So therefore that is the reason why we see in a lot of our stories. Now though this Brahma also therefore is a Padavi that we say. Brahma, though we revere Brahma today, we have only one temple of Brahma in Pushkara. And you have so many references wherein Brahma goes a bit wrong at times. So like this reference wherein he tries to get physical with one of his daughters, or the argument that takes place between Vishnu and Brahma to see where is the end of Shiva. Brahma comes and lies that I have seen the end of the Shivalinga. He gets a punishment there. That's when he gets a curse that only one temple will be built to you. Then during the Krishna Avatara, Brahma becomes gets proud, and he steals the cows and cowherds. So therefore this Brahma also, if you see, after every Chaturyuga, he keeps on changing, we see, right? Or after a couple of Chaturyugas, after one Mahayuga, that is Mahayuga, not Chaturyuga, after one Mahayuga, Brahma keeps changing. So though Brahma we revere as Brahmadeva, the creator, it is just a padavi, it is just a position, it's not a proper noun Brahma. That is because these are a few flaws that we had. So just as all of us also, 10 things are good in me, 20 things will be bad. So similarly Brahma also had a few flaws in him. So therefore at this time Brahma, so these sons, they were all gods, but these 6 sons, they had seen Brahma getting physical, and that time Brahma curses them, saying that you will be born here as the sons of Hiranyakashipu. And in the present era, in demon incarnation, they were that as a demon you will be born. They were born as sons of Hiranyakashipu. Next they were born as sons of Devaki, and they were killed by Kamsa. So now they are all in your loka. So Krishna here tells that, so this is the reference that is there. Firstly, they were all gods, then they were born as the sons of Hiranyakashipu, then they were born as my elder brothers to my mother Devaki, but again they were killed by Kamsa because of the curse of Brahma, and now finally they have returned to your realm, that is Sutala Loka. So now I want them back, my mother Devaki is crying for them. And then, so what you can do is you give us those 6 babies back, so that they will be freed from the curse, and ultimately they can all go to their heavenly abode. So let my mother see those 6 children, and then ultimately they will go to their heavenly abode. They will be free from their curse also. Thus Krishna and Balarama brought back, and seeing her babies, it is said that Devaki's heart was full of devotion, and milk started oozing, and she affectionately fed all those she breastfed all those 6 babies, and it is said that while drinking the milk, all those 6 babies attained salvation and they went to their heavenly abode. So this is the story of the 6 elder brothers of Krishna and Devaki. Finally Subhadra and Arjuna get married. Then we have the story of further we have the story, one second. Now further we have the story of the end of the Yaduvamshis, wherein we have a curse that is given to the Yadava Kula, and that's how it resulted in their own. Now not in detail, much reference is not given, and we don't have time to look at everything so much in detail. So Yadavas, they keep killing, they emerge, a pestle is created from now the background story, if I tell you, is there is a sea around, there is a fish who consumes a pestle, and it is said that the sage once upon a time, he had cursed that the Yadavas, it will ensure that this Yadava clan kills each other, and then they will only die. Now how does this take place? They have a blade of grass that assumes a form of a pestle. That's when each one of them, they try to kill each other, and that's how the entire Yadava Kula vanishes. So this reveals the destruction of the Yadav Kula, and ultimately what this tries to show is the end of Krishna Avatara is near. Dwapara Yuga is about to end, and Kali Yuga is about to begin. Now chapter 4 Vishnu Purana. Now all this that I told you till now, all the Krishna Avatara stories, is in chapter 3 part 5 Vishnu Purana. Chapter 4 starts with the end of the Yaduvamshis, and Narada here, he preaches Vasudeva, that is Krishna's father, about Bhagavata. So we have the Upadesha of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Vishnu Purana also, Narada had preached Vasudeva what exactly is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Further, the end of Krishnavatara, Lord departs to his abode. He immerses himself in the Srimad Bhagavata book and the destruction of the Yaduvamshis. Now, I'll just tell you how the Lord departs to his own abode. It is said that Brahma, there he arrives in Dwaraka. He tells Krishna that now all your duties are done on this earth. You have to now come back to Vaikuntha. The Lord says that on the 7th day from now, Dwaraka shall submerge in the sea. All the Yadavas shall fight amongst themselves to death, and I too shall depart them. The arrow of a hunter shall be the cause of my killing. Now, when Uddhava learned this, he started weeping. He said, what will I do? If you go away, what will happen on this earth? What will the people do? All kinds of evil elements will come. Next is a Kali Yuga. Still dangers are going to rise. What will happen? So Krishna says that. So for this, and ultimately towards the last, Uddhava also cries that I cannot part from you even for a moment. I am with you right from childhood. So how can you leave everyone and go away like this? Lord says that Uddhava, I am not going anywhere. In the Srimad Bhagavata Purana only I will be immersed. So you stay here preaching Bhagavata Dharma. That is why more than Bhagavan, Bhagavatas are important. That is the reason till date we remember Uddhava. We remember Uddhava, we remember Dhruva, we remember Prahlada, different devotees. They are called Bhagavatottamas. That means among Bhagavatas, people, Bhagavan, God is one. But Bhagavatas are great people who, like Uddhava, who are preaching Dharma. So it is said that devotees of the Lord are one level high even than the Lord himself. If we worship and remember them, it is equal or rather more than worshipping God only. So the Lord tells Uddhava that you stay on this earth plane and ensure that you preach this Bhagavata Dharma to everyone. And here the Lord preaches the Avadhuta Gita that we get reference in Srimad Bhagavatam to Uddhava. Further he said that, Lord, now what is this Avadhuta Gita? Very, very interesting. Sometimes if we get a chance we will look that. Avadhuta Gita is nothing but out of 24 natural elements that are there. For example, sky, honeybee, water, fire, moon, pigeon, python, sea and so on, like this 24. From each of them, what is the learning for us? Again, a very good learning for all of us. Each and everything, be it living or non-living, tries to teach us something. So this learning attitude, irrespective of the person in front of us, is he qualified? Is he elder to me? What is his qualification? What does he do? How does he look at? What is his age? What is his gender? We have so many problems, right? But here Krishna tries to show through Avadhuta Gita, right, that Avadhuta is another name for Lord Dattatreya, which is a form of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So what he tries to show is learning from each and everything is important irrespective of anything. A person who teaches us something is our guru. He must be revered as our gurus. Like this we have 24 gurus from nature. Like this is explained by Uddhava to Krishna in Uddhava Gita. Further he talks about Bhikshu Gitam also. Bhikshu is a mendicant or a beggar who asks for alms. This also reference we get in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is there in Bhikshu Gitam? Here it is said that there is a story of a Brahmin. So Brahmin had lost everything. Evil people had come and attacked him and what. Now Brahmins usually, if you see, Brahmins is so-called priests who we have, they are not very rich people. So whatever little he had, that also this Brahmin had lost. So then this Brahmin, but he was very learned and he said that I should not blame anyone or anything for this. My own miseries, my own karma are responsible for this. So let me just leave apart and be on the good path by studying what should be done and so on. Let me be free from all kinds of material life, sensual pleasures and all this. So great philosophy, or the deep philosophy, that is this Bhikshu Gita. So Gita, this Bhikshu or this Brahmin, what the Gita that he preached or what were the teachings that he told, that is a part of this Bhikshu Gita. Further, Uddhava, what happens is that Uddhava, he understood all this. Krishna departs for his abode and Uddhava, he departs for Badrika Ashrama. That is today's Badrinatha. And it is said that even till date, Uddhava is meditating in Badrika Ashrama on all the teachings that have been told by Krishna. So that is the reason why even till date, those who visit Badrika Ashrama, or even today if you on the Chota Chardham Yatra, if you want to go to Badrinath, at least for 5 minutes or so, you must sit and meditate there. Each and every place has got its own Mahima. You go to Dwaraka, you must raise your hands up and sing the names of the Lord. You go to Tirupati, you must do the Kalyan Utsava. You go to Jagannath Puri, the Lord is known for having a lot of food that is there. That's why we have the Chappan Bhog that is offered. You go to Guruvayur, there always continuously Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Narayaniyam is being chanted. So each place, each temple in praise of Lord Krishna has got its own Mahima. Vrindavana, you go, we have the Rasa Leela, that is the festival of Holi that is being played there. So similarly in Badrikashrama, because Uddhava is said to be doing even till date meditation there, all of us also, we must, whenever you go there, you must do at least for some time meditation. So with this, part 5 of Vishnu Purana ends. We still have part 6 to be done. So today time is up. We will conclude.